Hello, BookTube, and Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody's doing well. I thought I'd just come on and wish everybody Merry Christmas and sort of to say I'm still alive, and I hope to be back in 2021 with doing more BookTube videos. It's been a fractious year, to say the least, I think, for most people. 2020 has, and it's ended with a bit of a kick in the pants to me. It's about 4 weeks ago, I guess it is, that I first was told that I'd be made redundant. It was a bit of a long process that took basically until the end of the first week, pretty well, of December to get sort of the decree absolute. So it's normally when I'm out of work, it's quite disastrous to me, but things aren't so bad this time. So, and uh, I have hopes for other things in the new year. And sort of planning for things to do. But my last video, I mentioned that I would be away for a while because I was being made redundant. I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't know at that time. But I want to thank the outpour in the comments just astonished me, and I it's very heartfelt, and I appreciate everybody who made comments. I I wasn't expecting it because the whole purpose was just sort of an FYI video to say I won't be here for a while. This is why. Take care. I'll see you in the future, hopefully. And just rather than just disappearing. But I thought I'd come today, being Christmas, and sort of give you an update and do a bit of a rambling of what I've been doing. But yeah, it's sort of all through, you know, just went crazy with my reading. I just didn't read much and I only started reading again about a week and a half ago, or at least anything substantial. Um, and all I've been doing basically prior to this past weekend, less than a week ago, I've been watching sort of TV shows um, and movies off of a streaming service. So I don't have TV in the sense of sort of getting a signal in. But anyway, so yeah, and then most of this past week, leading up to Christmas, I've been watching my favorite Christmas films, and sort of like Bells of St. Mary's, uh, Going My Way, How the Grinch Stole Christmas in the 1960s, cartoon 30 Minutes with Boris Karloff voicing, Holly and the Ivy, early 50s English film, Ralph Richardson, Denham Elliott, Cecilia Johnson, It's a Wonderful Life with Donna Reed and James Stewart, and Remember the Night with Barbara Stanwyck and Frederick McMurray. Another favorite of mine with Barbara Stanwyck for Christmas is Christmas in Connecticut, which I had to watch on a streaming service. And all-time favorite rendering of the Christmas Carol is the 1951, or is it 52? I think it's 1951 or 52 version of with Alistair Sim's Scrooge. The Bishop's Wife. Those are sort of mostly my favorites, and there's a few others like the 1980s Christmas Story, White Christmas, and so forth. Bing Crosby. So I've still got quite a few of those to watch. I had plans for Christmas Day here. I had thought I had sort of worked things out pretty good. I was able to get a turkey, but I planned on putting it in this afternoon about 12 or 1 o'clock, and it was still too frozen. It's now defrosted, but it's a little too late this evening to do any cooking. So my Christmas dinner will be on Boxing Day, the turkey. Just have to go with the flow. It's 2020. So, and but otherwise, other than that, I haven't been like I've bought a few DVDs and a few books. Not many. There's one that's still on its way from the U.S., a book that I only paid less than £3 for. I don't expect to be in good shape, but the subject matter is what I wanted. I just sort of stumbled on it accidentally. It's this social and ethics sort of situations in films of Erich von Stroheim, Ernst Lubitsch, and Billy Wilder. And I thought that sounded fantastic, and the price was right with the shipping. So I'll wait for that. And then I've been watching a few horror films too, my classic horror films from the 30s and 40s. And I came across this one, Caligari's Children, the film as a tale of terror by S.S. Prower. It's an Oxford publication, 1980. Looked really good, and it was cheap again for a used copy. I also grabbed this, a chronology of classic horror films in the 1930s by Donald C. Willis. It's used as new copy. It's got your usual like going in and out of shelf, sort of scuffing on the corners, but it's good shape otherwise for a paperback. Published in 2019 by the Midnight Marquee Press. Midnight Marquee was a horror sort of type magazine. It might still be around, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's one of like a plethora. There's dozens, if not hundreds, of books about 30s and 40s horror and science fiction films. There's really only a few that are good. I've had this big thing for quite a while. The Universal Horrors. I've had it for about 8 years now, and it's really good. It's colorized still from The Old Dark House by James Whale, 1931 or 32. Boris Karloff, he doesn't have any words. He doesn't say anything. He just grunts and moans. And Gloria Stewart, Charles Lawton was in it. Raymond Massey, Ernest Thiegler, who was Dr. Pretorius in Bride of Frankenstein, directed by James Whale as well. So some people, if they don't recognize Gloria Stewart, the name, or they might, she was the old lady at the beginning and maybe the end, because I never saw the ending of Titanic, where she's telling the story or looking at some of the artifacts that are coming up. James Cameron's Titanic? I think it is. So that's her, but from the 30s. But yeah, so but this is just universal horror. That's all this is dealing with, and it's more or less just a there's photos, there's a bit of production information in it, but it's just a few columns of pages about each film, who was in it, all the credits and so forth. So it's quite good. There's a few other books, but yeah. So that's what I've been spending my time at, reading a little bit here and there. I've got my magazines here still, which I'm going to. I've basically canceled all the subscriptions. I will be. It's basically for cost savings at the moment. And I'll be looking for work as the new year rolls in. But with the lockdown here, which could extend until March, Easter basically, could be a little difficult. But hence my BookTube videos, which I will be continuing, won't have too many book hauls in anymore because. Just because I won't be able to afford it. But there will be a few books here or there. I still expect that. A DVD or a Blu-ray here or there, occasionally. But it'll be mostly there's a few things. I've mentioned this over and over. It's comparing the film to the book. I can even do it with The Old Dark House, because I finally got around after watching that again to read the J.B. Priestley's Benighted, which is based on. It's a short novel of his. I think it was the second novel that he wrote, that he got published, and something like that. It'll be films that I enjoy. Not necessarily the best or the shining or the best films out there, but ones that are sort of my favorites and I enjoy watching. And that's how I'll probably come, that'll be where it'll be all coming from. So, and a few other things, like for instance, if I can get into my film books, I might do a little sort of book review, reviewing of what I have for my horror or science fiction sort of classic films. And then show some of the DVDs or Blu-rays that I have of those. And other things, like I want to do a sort of overview of my George Orwell collection. I look up there because it's on the other wall, sort of perpendicular to what you see behind me here on the other wall. Up high is the 20-volume set of his complete works, plus biography and other material that's related to Orwell. So it'd be nice to go through that. And just a few other things, maybe highlight a few books or small collections, do things like that, and talk about what I'm reading. It won't be so much magazine-wise, because I'll still have some archaeology magazines coming, because those I had paid for a year subscription, so that money's gone, so I can't recoup it. But anything else that was either introductory ones that I was even contemplating continuing, or ones that I had paid quarterly for, I've stopped, and so they'll just sort of run out as and when. But anyway, have a good Christmas. I hope everybody is having a good Christmas, and cheers. This is a Bishop's Finger Kentish Strong Ale. And there's the bottle, and it's quite tasty. Anyway, as I say, have a good Christmas, and Happy New Year, everybody, and see you in 2021. Take care.